Mead! 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 Okay, fuck around. Sorry. That's my Mead song. So, I got this bottle of Urban Pinot Noir, which is insanely kick-ass Pinot. Pretty reliable if you're after some Pinot. You know what I'm talking about. It's cheap and it's delicious. But inside this bottle is not Urban Pinot, but I have like 1,000 Urban Pinot Noir bottles around because this is the wine I tend to buy. And for some reason I like German and Italian wine. So, we're going to pop the cap on this. I brewed this a long time ago. This is over a year old. So, I was saving this for a special occasion for you and me tonight. Okay? And, shit, I kind of botched that. Oh, there we go. Everything's fine. This is not just straight mead. This is orange raisin melomel. And I had a whole bunch of really good oranges, probably the best oranges I've ever had in my life. And they got to get thrown in this batch of mead. And I dumped about 20 times more raisins than it called for. And I boiled them in the honey. And the honey was unpasteurized honey for my beekeeper bud Tom there, who's hooking me up with as much honey as I can handle. So I'll be doing a lot more of this because let's just taste it, okay? Oh, I better stop. I gotta go to work tomorrow. I've had a little bit of wine already. There's a color shot. It's it looks yellow to me, but it's orange. Most lights is gonna come through orange, right? That's from the oranges and the raisins and the honey. Oh, I put like a tablespoon of molasses in there, which really gave it a lot of color. I don't know why. I just did it. That's a really wild smell from the oranges and the raisins and everything in there. That does put you to sleep. That is just, and it's not like heavy duty or anything. It's just so nice. Well, this is at least 14%. And with the oranges in there, damn. I'll do that. I'll do this recipe again, and I've seen a lot of guys online doing the orange raisin melomel for yeast nutrient purposes or something. Yeah, it does not come off like real orange peely or anything. It's just really a nice flavor. I said I put in a lot more oranges. I just squoze. Chopping up oranges, just squeezing them in over the pot, and just threw in like a huge handful of raisins. So, and then I boiled it just to make damn sure everything was sanitary, and then I fermented it for a long time in gallon jugs, moonshine jugs, and damn, highly drinkable. You can smell the alcohol in it. It's like a homemade wine, but it's you don't feel like you're cheating. Like homemade wine, like you're generally gonna up the percent of the alcohol to like 16. Well, that's what everyone I know does, and they just throw a bunch of sugar in it to up it. Because the nice thing, I tend to, I don't know what causes wine to oxidize necessarily, but it seems like a lot of homemade wine is really good at not getting oxidized. I don't know if it has to do with the alcohol content or the viscosity because of the amount of sugar that's used rather than fruit juice, but I just drank some Barefoot California sweet red wine. I had opened it for well over 2 to 3 months. It was down like this much in the bottom, and I thought, oh, it's going to be horrible. I'm going to have to dump it out. I was going to do some cooking, and I saw it. Oh yeah, I have that little bit of Barefoot wine. It tastes better than the day I opened it. That was only like a 10% wine, so go figure. This stuff though, I'm not worried about it oxidizing. Maybe I'll put that over the top. Oh, it's a great flavor. It's hard to describe. The oranges, it's kind of rubbery, kind of. Really clean. Like, this stuff, I mean, I didn't filter this or anything. I mean, you look at the clarity. You can't tell on the camera, but this shit is like looking through like a window that was just cleaned. It's settled. I racked it. And man, is that ever clear? If I never threw oranges and molasses and stuff in there, this would be like just a really, really clear. Back to what I was talking about before, though. The nice thing about mead is you don't feel like you're cheating when you're up in your percentage, because the honey is like sugar, but that's basically the only thing that's in there, and you're just a little bit of fruit or whatever for flavor. So I highly recommend brewing it because it's easy as shit, and it's going to turn out unless you throw weird shit in it. Like, actually, next batch I'm doing is going to be straight mead. I'm just throwing a little bit of yeast nutrient in it, and I've had that before. It's a nice dry straight mead, and just gets you tanked. This shit will get you messed up. Like, you don't know. Well, it's like, I don't know. It's so delicious, and it's so high. You can get it so high in alcohol. Like, just brew it already. This shit, by the way, any of the bottles I've seen in the store, like $30, so it's well worth it to brew your own mead. I use a champagne yeast, and you can get those packets for like 99 cents in the store. Packet of Lalvin or Lavin champagne yeast worked awesome. Yeah, don't be scared of that. This is far better than most any wine kit that I've ever had. Ever. Even when I go to the wine brew store and they have the big party there and they have all the different types of wine that they've brewed and shit. They have a couple pretty damn good ones. But this shit is just... This is mead, man. Like, this is a whole new thing. Like, this is my first attempt at brewing it. So, imagine what you do like if you're doing this all the time. You're going to be a mead master. Damn, I'm going to brew a lot more of this because this is so freaking good. Like, a little bit of bitterness maybe from the alcohol in it, but it's so smooth and kind of like lightly sweet. I just went a little bit more than what the dry recipe would be, like in between the dry and the sweet. It's just perfect, I think. You know, there's 3 pounds per gallon, gives you dry mead, and 4 pounds, and you start to get sweet. And I think it was like 3.5. I had extra honey, so I just threw it in, and then the oranges added some sugar, spoon of molasses. You know, I just upped it a little bit over the dryness, and that's perfect. Because my one other buddy made it just dry mead. He went with the 3 pounds per gallon, and I don't know what the hell went on. It was so dry you couldn't deal with it. But they got you, like, just a sip of it and you're almost pissed. So somehow he gotten a lot of alcohol out of it, but it had dried the mead right out. Like, it was the driest shit we ever drank. So don't be afraid to throw a little extra honey in, and maybe have some stabilizer on hand. If you're testing it and it starts to get ludicrously dry, you might want to stabilize it. But this just... Shit, I just threw honey in a jug. Away it went. I don't use stabilizer. That's why I brew my own shit, so I don't have to drink sulfides. Well, extremely impressed. This is like one of the best alcoholic beverages I've ever had in my life. And I'm not just saying that because I brewed it. I'm saying it because it's fucking delicious. And highly recommend the orange raisin melomel. Spoonful of molasses there. I'm almost getting a little bit of licoricey thing in the back, and it's kind of the bitter with the orange, and the raisins are kind of Give it that kind of licoriceiness too, like that dark fruit kind of flavor in there, and that nice clear thing with the honey. I don't know. How do you describe this if you've never had it before? It's so unusual, yet it's so good. Maybe buy a bottle of Mead in your liquor store. If this is as good as this is worth $30, shit, this is awesome. Well, I just did the review of the Bishop of Riesling. There, I buy that once in a while. This is far more superb compared to that. It is better than this commercial wine, which it's a half-assed wine. It's not the best Riesling I've ever had by any means, but it's a half-assed wine, and this is just shit kicking it. So if I'm gonna give this a rate, even as first attempt at Mead, and I'm not the greatest brewer, that's for damn sure. So that being said, out of 11, I give this at least a 9.5. I know I'm gonna do better with my Mead, so but shit, this is like, I'm fucking ecstatic at how this turned out. Highly recommend getting into Mead. It is so easy, and the results are so awesome. Don't screw it up. Brew some Mead. Mead.